Hey guys, in this video we are going to talk about wait a second. Yeah, we are going to talk about resources, and this is from the class NCERT. NCERT. Wait a second. What's NCERT? Class 8th, and this is the chapter 1. Okay, this is from the way. This is from the that source. ओके, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हम क्या देखने वाले हैं, डेफिनेशन, कोर एट्रीब्यूट्स, उसी में क्लासिफिकेशन देखेंगे, वैल्यू की, रिसोर्स वैल्यू इवोल्यूशन देखेंगे, फिर ह्यूमन कैपिटल एंड इनोवेशन फैक्टर्स देखेंगे, इन विच वी आर गोइंग टू एक्सप्लोर डिस्कवर चैन एग्जाम्पल, एक ग्लोसरी भी है यहाँ पे हमारे पास, कुछ की टेकअवेज है, एंड देयर इज वन पॉइंट दैट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट टू रिमेंबर. ओके, सो ये हुआ हमारा पहला पार्ट, और इसी में हम देखेंगे फिर टाइप्स ऑफ रिसोर्सेस. ओके, क्लासिफिकेशन क्या है रिसोर्सेज के, फिर नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज क्या है, रिन्यूएबल, नॉन रिन्यूएबल क्या होता है एक्चुअली, ठीक है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन डिटर्मिनेंट्स क्या होते हैं, फिर ह्यूमन मेड रिसोर्स और ह्यूमन रिसोर्स क्या होते हैं, ठीक है, एंड वाई ह्यूमन रिसोर्स आर यूनिक, एंड फिर अगेन यहाँ पे कुछ ग्लोसरीज हैं, कुछ एग्जांपल्स हैं, कुछ कंक्लूजन्स हैं जो कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, हम देखने वाले हैं, ठीक है, इस वीडियो में. सो हम स्टार्ट करते हैं इस वीडियो को. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल डेफिनेशन एंड कोर एट्रीब्यूट्स. एक्चुअल रिसोर्स क्या होता है, एनीथिंग विच सेटिस्फाई नीड दैट इज़ रिसोर्स, ठीक है, एनीथिंग विच सेटिस्फाई नीड दैट इज़ रिसोर्स. एग्जाम्पल के लिए वाटर प्लस इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, लाइक रिक्शा, वेजिटेबल्स, टेक्स्ट बुक, दीज आर द एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ रिसोर्स. दीज आर एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ रिसोर्स. Okay, these are the examples of resources. Got it. Next, base requirement. What is the base requirement for, anything to become a resource? What is the basic requirement? Utility or usability. Objects become a resource when it has utility, or when it is usable, that is called usability, then it becomes a resource. Okay, so what are the determinants? Use or utility. So this is a factor, this is the factor which made a object into, or turn an object into resource, just because of its use or utility. So this is a factor determinants which confers value or worth to a product. Got it? So that is resource. Next is classification of value. But before that, like when I said they confers value, so value has two types: economic value, non-economic value. Let's suppose value has two types: economic value and non-economic value. Metals have economic value. Beautiful landscape, they don't have economic value, but what is the common factor here? Both satisfy human need. Like when someone is looking at the landscape, beautiful landscape, he will feel energetic, he'll feel awesome. Okay, when someone have a lot of metals, he can earn money with that metal, okay. Okay, so resources, value have two types: economic and non-economic value, but the common factor, the main important point is that both satisfy human needs. Okay, next we have a resource value evolution. But before that, what is resource? Everything that satisfy human need and has utility, that is resource. Okay, resource value evolution. There's a 2 points factor. What are the factor? Like time plus technology. If someone has time and technology though, so transition example, let's suppose grandmother's home remedies. Today no commercial value, okay, it is not valuable today, no, because it hasn't economic value. Okay, patenting, once she just registers some patent plus medical farm sell, and after that home remedy is going to sell at the medical farm. It has been tomorrow, it's going on tomorrow, so it becomes economically valuable. So initially Dadi's home remedy was no commercial value, okay, but once she patent and it is going to sell on the medical farm, so it becomes economically valuable. That is resource value evolution. Next is human capital and innovation factors. Primary resource, people. Why? Because most important resource, people is the most important resource, because we have some human inputs like ideas, knowledge, innovation, discoveries, which leads to the creation of more resources. Let's suppose if there's no human, who is going to create these are the resources whatever we are seeing nowadays? Who will create those resources? Okay, got it? So human resource are the primary resource or major resource in all of the resources. Next, discovery chain examples. Okay, so there's a discovery channel: discovery of fire, invention of the wheel, fast flowing water. Okay, these are the 3 examples. If we can watch right now, we can understand. Discovery of fire, like with the help of discovery of fire, when human discovered the fire, so it leads practice of cooking and other processes too. Okay, like uses of fire is really important nowadays. Why? It has a lot of property. I mean, it has a lot of use today. Invention of the wheel, development of newer modes of transport, like whatever we are transport looking at nowadays, all of them started from a wheel. Fast flowing water, if we have technology, so we created the technology that is called hydroelectricity, which is important resource because somewhere it generate electricity and all. Okay, next key takeaway. What are the important key takeaways in resources? First thing, need, that is satisfaction. The second one, the utility or usability, and then value or worth, and which is enhanced by time or technology plus human innovation. And again, it's important because sustainable use or future preserve. Okay, need or satisfaction starts with the human need. Let's suppose there's a object, okay, and that is just an object, okay, which is just which is just an object, okay. But when there's a need or satisfied need, and that need satisfied satisfied, okay, wait a minute, there's a need, and that if to satisfy the need, there would be utility or use or usability, then a object become a resource. Apart from that, when it becomes a resource, it confers some value have 2 types: economic and non-economic value. Apart from that, value evolves resource multiply, like when it enhanced by time and technology or human innovation. Apart from that, after the last stage, sustainable use, future preserve. Responsible use ensure when we have to be responsible to use, to ensure the use of resources, so for future like well-being of future generation. That's it. Remember, resources are not just materials from nature. Resources are not just material from nature, but also human beings. Okay, their knowledge, skill, ideas, innovations, which creates more resources and value. I hope you understand. Next, we have to understand types of resources. Okay, just wait a second. Types of resources, what actually? So first thing, classification. But before that, key idea: resources are the basis of human life and development. So resources are the basis of human life and development. Now there's a classification of resources: natural, human made, and human resources. There are majorly three classification of resources. First thing, natural resources. Definition: drawn from nature. So natural resources is drawn from nature, used without much modification. So used without much modification, like air, we can directly breathe it. River or lake water, we can directly use it. So we are directly using it to for agriculture purpose. Minerals, we can use directly for a lot of purpose. Okay, now there's an application. Let's suppose these are the free gifts of nature, like we call them free gifts of nature. We can use them directly, or we can use directly, or tools plus technology optimize use. And we can use direct use, or tools plus technology we can use or to optimize use. Okay, in natural resources, wait a second, in natural resources we have renewable and non-renewable. Okay, renewable, it has some attributes: it renewed or replenished quickly, unlimited type. Solar plus wind energy, it is kind of unlimited type, unaffected by human activities. Human activities are not going to affect these kind of resources. Stock vulnerability, careless use. Let's suppose water, soil plus forest, these are the resources which are stock, and that is going to deplete if we use them carelessly. Okay, so it's important to use them sustainably rather than carelessly. Global issue: shortage plus drying up of natural water sources. Somewhere we are using carelessly, so we are going to face shortage in the near future. So it's important to be sustainable, use sustainably, use renewable resources sustainably, in sustainable way. Okay, non-renewable attribute: limited stock and exhaustion, thousands of years to replenish, and that is more than human lifespans. Okay, thousands of years to replenish, that is more than human lifespan spans. So that's why it's important. Example, coal, petroleum, natural gas. That's why it's important, use sustainably, use sustain use them sustainably. I hope you got it. Next, distribution determinants. How it is, how these how natural resource distributed. So there are two factors: physical factors and factors variance over Earth. First thing, physical factors like terrain plus climate plus altitude. It depends what kind of terrain, what kind of climate there is, and how much altitude there is. Okay, so it depends what would be the natural resource we can found there. Okay, factor variance of Earth like unequal resource distribution, and that resource distribution unequal. The reason for that, terrain climate and altitude. Fact check: resources are not evenly distributed across the Earth. So that is what this distribution determines, saying resources are not evenly distributed across the Earth. Now, after natural resource, we have human-made resource and human resource. Now, human-made resource original form of natural substance changed. Like when there is a natural resource and when it is changed by natural resource, okay, and when it is changed by human intervention, so it's called resource creation. Okay, extraction example and application. Extraction: let's suppose we have the iron ore that is in natural form, that is natural resource. Okay, but human extraction process and iron resource, we get iron resource from that. So then this iron is called a resource, because now it's no more an ore. Okay, in ore, if you want to find, okay, what is ore, you will find it. Ore has kind of impurities, but iron, that is pure metal. Next, application. Let's suppose we have natural resources, and with the help of those natural resources we build some buildings, bridges, roads, machinery, vehicles, technology. So these are the examples: building, bridge, road, machinery, vehicle, technology. These are the examples of human made resource. Okay, next. एक second. Conclusion is that resources are limited, but human potential is unlimited. Okay, so wise use plus conservation plus human development is equal to sustainable future. What is that? Wise use. So carefully use. So using resources carefully. Conservation, protecting them, and human development is equal to sustainable future. So that is what sustainable future is. Next is human resource. Core component of human resource, the people. People are the special resources or major resource of the any society, economy, or blah blah blah. Equation: knowledge, skill, technology. Okay, so equation is that like knowledge plus skill plus technology, which creates nature optimized creation of more resources. If some people, like if society has knowledge, skill, and technology, so they can use natural objects in a optimized way that helps to creation of more resources. Next, value enhances. Education plus health makes valuable resources. Okay, human resource development, improving quality of human skills, creation of more resources. That is called human resource development. Let's suppose there's a human and we are going to enhance his quality of skills, and that would lead creation of more resources. That is called human resource development. Somewhere we enhance the human skills, and that skills we enhance the human skills. Okay, and that skills lead to the creation of more resources. That is called human resource development mechanism. Human skills, physical material, valuable resource. Let's suppose when we enhance the skills of a human, that human will enhance the skills or the quality of that physical material, and that become valuable resource. Why human resource are unique? Because he can think, innovate, and create. So the first thing, thinking like reasoning. He can understand, he can learn, he can read, he can learn, he can understand, he can reasoning. After that reasoning, he can innovate with the help of that reasoning, and with that help of innovation he can create something. He can convert other resources into valuable output, core driver of development. Okay, next is glossary. What is actually stock of resources in human resources? Human resources actually quantity, number plus abilities, mental plus physical abilities of the people. That is called human resource. Okay, that is called human resource. Whereas the stock of resources, like amount of resources available for use, that is called stock of resource. Now this is the third part of the chapter, that is about conserving resources. Okay, how we can conserve the resources, core concept. But before that, key idea is that conserve today to secure tomorrow. If we are into small actions today, sustainable tomorrow. Okay, this is important, and this is also important for your dedication, discipline, motivation, and blah 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 jo bhi hai. Okay, so if you conserve today your energy, Okay, kind of, if you work hard today, you will get best future tomorrow, kind of that. So conserving resources means, what are the core concept? Okay, so there are some 4 points. Okay, so first thing, but wait a minute, we're just going to take a overview. Conservation interlinking inputs, and then there's a duties. Okay, then there's a principle of sustainable development, and then there's some glossary and conclusion. Okay, these are the stuff there. So first thing, we have to understand core concept. So first thing, careless resource use. Second thing, like we are talking about conserving resources, how we can conserve resources. So first thing, careless resource use. Second, resource conservation. Third, sustainable development. Fourth, individual contribution method. So first we are talking about careless resource use. When there's a renewable resources which is scarce, okay, and non-renewable resources which is exhausted. So there are two terms, scarce and exhausted. Okay, so exhausted what? Non-renewable resources. Scarce one who? Renewable resources which is scarce, and non-renewable resource which is exhausted. So we have to make sure we are not going to carelessly use them. Second point, resource conservation, careful resource utilization. So allocation of renewal time. So somewhere we should allocate renewal time for non-renewable resources. Renewable resources, allocation for renewal time for renewable resources, and careful resource utilization for non-renewable resources. So resource conservation, in that way we can do resource conservation. Third is sustainable development, balancing current usage need plus future generation preservation. Somewhere we understand that we are not going to use every resource today. हम ऐसे नहीं कि सब कुछ खा के बैठ सकते हैं. We don't have to do that. So somewhere we have to secure, we have to maintain the balance for our future generation too. That is called sustainable development. When we think about our future generation or our upcoming future generation, which is called Gen Z. So in that way it's called sustainable development. Individual contribution method, every person is contributing, so that's called individual contribution method, like reducing consumption, recycling and reusing. Somewhere we are just going to reduce the consumption, like we are not going to waste the products or waste the resource. So that's called reducing consumption. It doesn't mean that we should be weak, we shouldn't be healthy, or we shouldn't focus on our physical and mental health. We should focus on it, but we just don't waste resources. That's called reducing consumption. And apart from that, we have to use again and again, like that's called recycle and we should using in the recycling process, we should use again and again, that's called reusing. Okay, next one we have conservation interlinkages and inputs. Let's suppose there is a waste reduction, so resource saving plus earth preservation. How we can waste reduction, how we can ensure waste reduction. First thing, resource saving, we should save resource and earth preservation. Paper conservation, reduce tree cutting, electricity conservation, water plus coal preservation. So when we preserve water plus coal, then we can preserve electricity, conserve electricity. Water conservation, precious drop preservation, so we can preserve every drop of water. Planetary future, maintenance plus preservation of nature's life support system. It means like lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, we have to maintain a balance between them. Next is duties. So there's a sustainable duty, conserve and minimize the damage how it's possible. First thing, renewable resources sustainable application. So if we have renewable resources, so we should make sure we are going to use them in sustainable way or sustainable application method. Okay, sustainable method. Second, earthly life diversity conserve, we should maintain diversity, we should conserve it, because somewhere it's going to be endangered, critical, kind of that stuff we have. So we should maintain diversity too. Natural environment system, so minimize damage, we should minimize the damage. Next we have fracture, conservation is not restriction, it is responsibility. So you understand, conservation is not a restriction, it is a responsibility. So we shouldn't think it is important. Okay, we should like that, it's responsibility. Okay, it's not like someone is saying okay don't do that, it's a responsibility to don't do that, because that's important for future generation. Okay, that's called conservation. Next is principles of sustainable development. What are the principles of sustainable? Plus respect plus care. Second, improvement, conservation earth. Okay, minimalization, modification and empowerment. What actually means when we respect plus care, when we talk about this, like all forms of love we should respect and care, it means value and protect every life of earth. We should value and we should protect every life of the earth. Okay, improvement. When we talk about improvement, we mean that quality of human life we should enhance that, enhancing well-being through better choices. Conservation of earth. When we talk about conservation of like conservation, so it simply means earth's vitality, so earth's diversity we should maintain that, protect ecological balances and diversity, protect ecological balance and diversity. Minimalization, like depletion of natural resources, use less, preserve more. So minimalization means we should use less and preserve more. Modification means personal environmental attitudes plus practice. So that's called modification. We should modify our attitudes and practices towards natural, like think green, act green. Empowerment. Communities care for local and environment. People empowered, planet protected. Wait a second. Empowerment. And like community should like there should be some communities who empower society, care for local environment. Okay, like people empowered, planet protected. If we empower the people, planet is going to be protected. So that's where empowerment is important. Conclusion. Wait a second. Before that glossary, before that conclusion, we should look at the glossary. What is actually sustainable development? So careful resource utilization, meeting present requirements and care for future generation, that is called sustainable development. Conclusion. What is the conclusion? Okay, conclusion that conservation is the path conservation is the path to a balanced, just and sustainable future for all. That's all for this video, and this video we just covered class 8 NCERT Geography chapter 1. That's it.